Hi there, my name is Wendy Dolan with Get Online NOLA, and today Get Online NOLA's education arm, Code NOLA, is going to present to you a video tutorial on using the WordPress text editor. So this tutorial assumes that you already know how to log into WordPress and add a new post. So I've just started by adding my title of my post into the title field using the WordPress text editor. And I'm just going to make a little list to tell you what we're going to cover today. So the first thing we're going to cover is adding a list, of course. So what I'll do is I'll put my cursor where I want my list to begin. And I go over to the top on my toolbar, and I'm going to click bulleted list. And you see I have a little bullet that appears. So I'll say we're adding lists and horizontal rules. The next thing we're going to cover is styling text. We're going to talk about adding links. We're going to talk about adding block quotes, which can be a lot of fun, especially if you're running a blog or a magazine type website. Everybody's favorite, we're going to talk about adding media. In this case, that's going to be images. And of course, because it's Code NOLA, I've got a couple other tips for you along the way. So there you go. We've added our first list. And I want you to notice that this list has bullets. But you have another option here. Instead of bullets, you could have a numbered list. And so I'm just going to come back up to my toolbar and click on the little icon with the numbers 1, 2, 3. And there we are. My bulleted list changes to a numbered list. But I still want it to be a bulleted list, so I'll just click back over and click bulleted list again. And we'll move right along. So I'm just going to paste a whole load of tips here for you. About what we're going to cover, and we're going to use these tips in order to do the lesson today. So WordPress text editor is a WYSIWYG, and that stands for what you see is what you get. And here we are, we're going to talk about the tips. So let's talk about hierarchy a little bit. Over here in your toolbar, you see that you have your paragraph, your hierarchy tag. Now, some of you might see that your text editor looks like this and your second line is missing. So you just hover over this toggle toolbar icon to the far right and it should open up your secondary toolbar. So I want to show my users that this is an important thing, and I'll also be showing search engines that. I'm going to click this paragraph and I'm going to give it a heading 2, an H2. That means it's not quite as important as the title, the H1, but it's pretty important. So there we go. I've highlighted it and I've made it an H2. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like. We'll bring your attention over here to the right-hand sidebar in this publish box. And look, I can use this little arrow to toggle on and off the publish box or any box for that matter. And I'm going to click the preview button. And with the preview button, it's going to open how my post looks so far. I've got my title, my metadata, my unordered list, my bulleted list, and there you go. That WordPress text editor tips is an H2. It looks like it's a little bit important heading. So let's click back over, and we're going to talk about styling our text. So WordPress, like I said, behaves like a word processor, and we can do lots of different things just like we would in a word processor. So I want to show you here. WordPress, like I said, what you see is what you get. Let's make that italic. So all I do is I highlight the whole phrase that I want to be italic, and then I click the I up in the toolbar. And then I can do some other things as well. Say I want this word WYSIWYG to be bold. I highlight it, I click bold. Not that hard. There's other options too. So say I wanted to use a strike through. Again, I highlight the text that I wanted to be strike through, and I simply click the strike through button, and I can unstrike it as well. You can kind of toggle these things on and off quite easily. So I said I'd show you how to do a horizontal rule, and that's quite a nice feature for separating portions of your site. So what I'm going to do is put my cursor where I want my horizontal rule to be, and then I hover over the horizontal line button up at the top, click enter, and there you go. It's put a horizontal line above the element that I had selected, or where I had my cursor. So let's talk a little bit about alignment. Right now, by default in this theme, as you can see, everything's aligned left, but I could align things right, I could align them into the center, I could justify them. So say I wanted there, which is this little align center icon over here. Let's just see how that looks on our preview. So I click preview, it loads, it refreshes the tab, and there we go. My text is centered. We can leave that there for now, why not? Let's talk about adding links. So I have Googled the word WYSIWYG, and I've got a link for you. But now I've lost it. So let's go to our trusted Wikipedia. We're going to get a link. So say I wanted to make a link to Wikipedia. I'll just find my Wikipedia page. I just Googled it. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to go and get the URL. I'm going to put in the browser bar up at the top. I'm going to highlight everything, and I could Command-C for a copy, or I can click Edit, Copy. And once I've got that link copied, I'll go back over to the text editor. I'm going to highlight the thing that I want to become the link. Then I'll click on this little link icon up in my toolbar, and it gives me a dialog box. Now notice, I'll show you the big mistake first. I've pasted my link in, but look what happened. I have http:// in there twice, and we don't want that. So instead, I like to just highlight that first or delete it. And then I'll go ahead and paste my link. We always want to give our links a title. And that's good both for search engines, but particularly for visually impaired people so that they know what they're clicking on. And because Wikipedia is a page outside of my own blog, I'm going to leave this option clicked, open link in a new window or tab. I'll simply click add link, and there you go. It's indicated to me that I have a link here. So next thing we're going to talk about is, let's talk about adding a link inside of our own blog. So I have a couple resources for you guys on another page within my own blog. And what I want to do is make a link to that post. So I'll do the same thing. I'm going to highlight, click here. I'm going to click my link icon, but instead of pasting the URL, I'm going to click here where it says link to existing content. And I'm going to search. I know my post is called resources, so I'll search for resources. I found it. I click it. Now here, because it's within my own blog, I'm not going to open in a new window. I want it to open in the same window just to keep people inside of my blog and make sure they're not having hundreds of tabs open up as they click through my site, because that can be really frustrating. So I'll uncheck the open link in a new tab, and I'll click add link, and I'll see, there we are. Our link is there already. Sometimes it's nice to have a block quote, especially if you're quoting someone on your blog. So in this case, I'll take one of our little tips about changing colors, and I'll make a block quote there. And because I'm about to kind of introduce everything on in my post, I'm going to put it up at the top as an introduction. Now notice when I put my cursor in, it's centered because the text below it is centered. No problem. I'll just go ahead and click align left. I'll paste in my quote, and it's made it in H2, which is not what I want at all. So I'll just highlight that, and I can go back up to my toolbar and click paragraph, and there we go. We have it as a paragraph again. I'm going to put some quotes around it just because it's a quote. I'll highlight the whole thing, and then I simply click my block quote icon. And there you go. It shows me it's a block quote. Your coder should have programmed block quote functionality, block quote styling into your site. So it'll look slightly different from the rest of your text. Let's have a look at it again. I'm clicking preview, and that's refreshing my preview over here in this tab. And I see what I've got. So I've got my list, I've got horizontal line, my block quote. my censored H2, my links. How fun. Next thing we'll do, let's add some media. Let's add an image. There's a couple ways that we can do that as well. So I've prepared one for you already. I'm going to click Add Media up at the top, and I am going to, let's add the WordPress logo. So what I've done, I've Googled WordPress logo, and in this case, I'm going to add media from a URL. Okay, so I found the WordPress logo. I'm going to right-click and click, or control-click, and I'm going to click on Copy Image URL, and that saves the image's URL to my clipboard. I'll come back over, remember to get rid of that HTTP again, paste in my URL, and there you go, I get the WordPress logo. I have a couple options. I can link to anything on the web or not. I can link, I can align the image left, right, center, or none. I'm going to go ahead, because this is the WordPress logo, I'm going to go ahead and link to wordpress.org with this image. Okay, so I'm going to click Link to Custom URL, and that opens a little field for my URL. I'm going to paste in the wordpress.org link, and then I'm going to click Insert into Post. There we go. And now if I click on the image, I can see up at the top that it is a link as well. And one more thing, another image I'm going to show you. I'll show you how to do this from slightly a different way. I'm going to click Insert Media. And then over here, I'm going to click Upload Files. And I can upload a file from anywhere on my computer. I have two ways of doing that. I can just simply take my image and drag it into the space from my Finder, or I can click Select Files and browse the files on my computer. Find the file that I want, select it, press Open, and then WordPress is going to upload that image for you. When it's finished uploading, it'll display a little preview, and it shows that it's selected with this blue checkbox up in the top right corner. So once it's selected, I'm going to go over to the right-hand column and see what's going on over here. I have a few different options. Again, I can set the alignment, left, right, or center. I can link to a media file or to the media file itself, which will just open the image larger in WordPress. In this case, I'm not going to link to anything. And it lets me choose what size I want to enter the image. I can do full size. That gives me different options as well. Notice the thumbnail is going to make a square image regardless of whether your image is a square or a rectangle, so there will be some cropping that happens there. But I'm going to do full size, insert post, and there we are. My image shows up in my WYSIWYG editor. Last thing, you probably read when I did a blog post that I don't advise having lots of different colors in your website, but I'll show you how to change them just in case. So whatever I want to be a different color, I simply, again, highlight the text, and I find my little A icon for text color, click on it, pick a color, and there you go. It's going to change. You can do that to your heart's content, but I wouldn't recommend it. I'm going to undo that here. Okay, I think that covers everything that we wanted to cover. So we'll do one last preview. Have a look. I'm waiting for the preview to load. I like to go ahead and check my links, so I'm going to hover over WYSIWYG and make sure that that link opened in the right place. Excellent. Scroll down and I'll see click here for resources. Let's click that as well. And I'll see that that brings me to my resources page. I'll go back. And I see that everything looks pretty good, except I've lost my WYSIWYG image. That's strange, but that's okay because this gives me an opportunity to show you how to add media if the file's already uploaded. So again, I've clicked Add Media, then I find my media library. I select the image, as easy as that. It gives me a blue checkbox. I check my settings over here on the right again, click Insert into Post, and there it is. I'll preview just the one more time. There it is. And once I know that I'm happy with the post, I can click Publish. Now I can go to my homepage on my blog and just check it out. There's my live homepage using the WordPress text editor with all my content and my images. So there you go. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial on using the WordPress text editor from Get Online NOLA and Code NOLA. I'm Wendy Dolan, and thanks for joining me. You can always check out more information at blog.getonlinenola.com. Thanks.